Hi everyone. So today we are going to take a look at a pre-painted PVC or ABS figure of Rem, who is one of the main supporting characters of the anime ReZero, Starting Life in Another World. Now this is a figure from the Banpresto Serenus Couture Vol.2 line, and it can be considered as a budget-friendly figurine for beginner collectors. So now let's do the unboxing. Rem is by far the most popular female character of not only the ReZero anime, but of anime in general. For example, she consistently ranks among the top 3, if not number 1, in most lists of the best anime waifus. So I guess it was inevitable that Rem would be the very first pre-painted figurine that I unboxed and reviewed. The front box art has a close-up view of Rem, which I mentioned earlier is from the Serenus Couture line. The side box art has a full zoom-out view of the figurine being posed together with her base. The back box art has another close-up view of Rem. Now, Rem is a character from the Kadokawa line, and that sticker there is a stamp of approval of sorts that this is an officially sanctioned Kadokawa product. So now let's go ahead with the unboxing process. Inside is a protective cardboard, which ensures that the figurine does not move too much when it's being transported. And the figurine itself comes in 3 parts. It is wrapped in plastic and comes in 3 separate parts, which is the base, the head, and the rest of the body. I'll go ahead and cut up the plastic and remove these pieces from its bag and see what we have. Now, Rem, the anime character herself, is usually clad in a maid uniform, but because she is so popular, she has many figurines made of her, clad in many types of clothing, such as the dress you see here, or even a kimono, or a nurse's uniform, and many others. Now that I've cut up an opening on the bags, let me just remove all the pieces from the bag so that we can have a close look at all the individual pieces before putting the figurine together later on. Now, just a quick word on this Banpresto line of PVC or ABS figurines. They are generally thought of as figurines that are more budget friendly to beginner collectors. Generally, they are considered as prize figures, which are of lower quality. Now, what do I mean by prize figures? Prize figures in the sense that these figurines can be obtained by playing crane games that are found in arcade centers all over Japan. And what I mean by of lower quality is that such prize figures tend to have a very variable paint job quality. It is not so consistent. Sometimes you do get very good figures, while at other times you can get figures with reasonably bad paint jobs. And in certain situations, you can also see mold lines running along certain sections of the figurine. So now let's go ahead to assemble this Rem figurine. Let us begin by first attaching Rem's head onto her body. It is just a simple pack and hold joint. All you have to do is just push it in as securely as you can, and there is a groove that guides you so that you do not attach the head in a wrong position. with the figurine assembled, let's now take a closer look at Rem. So she has an overall color scheme that comprises of the colors blue for her hair, sky blue for her collar and the ribbon at the front, light teal for the outer skirt, pearl white for her dress, as well as shiny metallic shoes, all in all, which complements nicely to her pale skin tone. Now let's have a close look at her hair, which is a translucent blue, so that you can actually see through to her big blue eyes. The hairband that she has is generally white with a clear teal frills at each end of that hairband. Rem has a nice demure smile, but her eyes seem a tad too big in proportion, at least to me, even when taking into account the normal anime convention in which eyes are fairly large on average. Meanwhile, her fingernails seem to be unpainted, and the skin tone is generally flat or monotone, sans any forms of shading whatsoever. The collar and ribbon that is tied on her waist are in matte sky blue, while her blouse and skirt has a nice pearl sheen to them, with an outer skirt that is a clear teal with what seems like silver dust embedded in them. As for her light blue shoes, they have a glossy, almost metallic sheen to it, and this goes well with her pearl-like socks. Looking at the skin tone on her legs, it's very obvious that there's a lack of shading that is more noticeable on her fair skin. So there is an opportunity to shade them yourself with dry pastels if need be, if you wish to do some retouching paintwork on this pre-painted figurine. So now let me put the Rem figurine on her base, which is actually a clear blue base that, like the outer skirt, has silver dust embedded in it. Now I'm just going to attach Rem onto this brown base. Once that's done, we can move on to a full 360-degree view of the figurine and have a closer look at the details that are present on it. So now let's go on to the full 360-degree view of the Banpresto Serenus Couture Vol.2 figurine. From this point of view, we can see that Rem has a dynamic pose, as if she is excited to see someone, yet at the same time, she is striking a demure, almost shy pose with her left hand and the slight tilt of her head. Her outfit is equally dynamic in that her outer skirt is swirling around her as if she is turning on the spot. Now, it is an excellent outfit which looks both cute and classy, from her hairband on her head all the way to the shiny shoes on her feet. One gripe I do have for this Rem figurine is that the head and eyes seem to be disproportionately just that little bit larger than the rest of her body, even after taking into account the norms of an anime character. Rem's hair is a beautiful translucent light blue, which gives a nice effect of being able to see through them to her eyes. Now, disregarding the disproportionate size of her head, when seen in isolation, the head is actually very well sculpted. I like that she is sporting a demure smile, which actually suits her pose very well. And while her hair is slightly translucent at the fringes, it is largely opaque everywhere else. This gives rise to an optical illusion that the hair is thin at the fringes. As I had mentioned earlier, her hairband has those nice clear teal frills at either end of a white band of floral patterns in between. Now the details on the white band could be actually brought out with a wash or some panel lining, which would be of interest to those of you out there who are miniature painters. But for the rest of you who just like collecting figurines without painting them, it looks good as is. One key characteristic that makes this figurine really stand out is Rem's stunningly beautiful dress. From the clear teal outer skirt that seems to be embedded with silver dust, all the way to the blouse and skirt, which has a nice pearl-like sheen to it, together with the matte sky blue collar and ribbon bow at the waist at the front. All of this together makes for a very cute and elegant outfit for the Rem figurine. Rem's classy ensemble is completed by her off-white socks, which has a pearl-like sheen to them that is similarly found on her blouse and skirt. As for her shoes, it is in a nice glossy blue with a standout feature of a large ribbon bow tied at the heels. And while her bare legs show a distinct lack of skin tone shading, there is a plus side to it in that the fair skin tone, flat as it is, still goes very well with the overall white and blue color scheme. So how then would I rate this Rem figurine in a 5-tier rating system all the way from bronze to platinum? So for the pros, this figurine has a pleasing color scheme as well as a beautiful pose and a very classy and elegant dress. Standing at 20 centimeters, she also has good shelf presence. Meanwhile, for the cons, it is slightly disproportionate in size in that its head and eyes is ever so slightly too large for the rest of her body, even when taking into account the enamel norms. There is also a distinct lack of shading on her skin tone, which makes for very flat flash hues. Overall, this is still a fairly nice figure, and I would give it a rating of silver. I hope you found this video useful, and thank you ever so much for watching.